Each year, hundreds of pubs across the UK close down for good. High pressure running and maintenance costs have resulted in over 2,000 pubs closing in the past 5 years. And this pub was no exception. Closing its doors in 2021, now we're going to renovate this 300-year-old Grade 2 listed building to more than just a pub. However, this is not going to be easy. So as you can see, we're at the front of the vane arms, full works out the front, including a refratch, full refratch roof, and then Friday will be scaffold up, ready to rebuild the existing chimney breast. As you can see by the condition of the existing windows, they do need some heavy refurbing, but once we show you what we can do, they'll be as good as new. As you can see, there's not been life in this pub for the last few years, so we are going to fully gut it. Fresh new renovation, all downstairs, including a new bar, new seating areas, cosy log burners. This area here wants a roof stripped, full electric commercial kitchen, and on this wall here will be a fully glazed panel behind the new bar, so that we can see fully into the kitchen area. The original main door entrance will be fully refurbed from the inside and out. The existing pub includes an 80s extension, which currently houses the previous kitchen. However, this is going to become access to one of the upstairs B&Bs. Under the existing thatch roof of the pub, this is going to house two further bedrooms with en-suites. On the grounds of the pub, there is an existing cottage with an outbuilding. This is going to be converted into a further 3 bedrooms with en-suites to include in the bed and breakfast. In preparation for a lot of stuff to be ripped out, it's time to get the big skips in. So we're just going to start ripping out the bar today and see what we find. So with that in mind, it's time for the boss to get back to work. I'll lead these guys to it. So as you can see from previous footage, the rear patio area now has been reduced, dug down to a level, give us level access to the rear of the building, so the client can now visually see the size of space they've got, and now we can get designing on what we re-put in.
So we've had to replace the front of this windowsill. There was just too much rock going on. So there was a section here. I was just going to do that, but as I explored it, I realised that it needed to be just one whole piece, otherwise it was going to be 1, 2, 3 pieces. So we put in one whole piece. And here we will put filler where there's gaps like this. If the gaps are too big, like on this area here, I would probably put a piece of wood in there and some filler, wood glue and filler, to make it more solid. And then this paintwork can be done in several ways. It can be scraped, sanded, down to as fine as you can get it. And all this paint comes off this window as well to try and get it nice and neater like this, rather than this, which you see a lot of actually. These being conservation windows, we can't just rip them out. We need to replace. We need to fix them as much as we can.
So given the fact that this Grade 2 listed pub, the front elevation sitting within the conservation area, it's important that we renovate and refurbish all the front windows and doors. So we're halfway through the week and I'm just pulling up to the vane arms in Sudborough to see what's happened. We'll give you a quick walk round, show you what's what. Found a gold medal, look. Number 1. That's it. Oh, getting old. So one big area of the pub that we've attacked already is the existing chimney. You'll see in an overlaid clip on this video that the existing chimney was severely leaning to one side. Everyone forgets about the chimney, but you've also got to remember it is a big feature point that everyone will see. So we've chosen to rebuild it out of a nice reclaimed brick, just like so. Gives it a little bit more character back into it, rather than building it out of a traditional modern brick. Remembering that the pub is 1700s, so anything we can do to improve the heritage, the better. Since we stripped it out, We originally had the guy come out from the coals fire and he said that we'd need to put aluminium linings in for the log burners. We don't, because they're already concrete lined, as you can see. We're now going to extend these chimney pots with traditional concrete linings, and then we can crack on with the chimney build and get it finished. We'll show you when we're done. Your little head.
Oh, bless you, thanks. It's the nicest thing
Why are
you've
you
ever
so
said to
fucking
me.
small?
You're just getting taller. Well, I'm shrinking and I'm getting older.
So as you can see, not too much has changed internally as yet, but we are carrying on stripping the ceilings, exposing all new routes for plumbing and electrics, which leads me on to a meeting I had this morning with the electrical and plumbing engineers to design a whole new system for the pub, basically. As you've seen previously, the existing pub is a thatched roof, and to meet new building regulations, the chimney needs to be at least 1.8 metres above the ridge line. So it's been 3 to 4 weeks since we started. I'm back on site again today, just to give you some updates of where we've been at. The biggest one, we've now got the site office set up. So obviously, as you'll see now as we walk through, there's a lot more changes in here. This was the old existing kitchen, which has been fully stripped. This will now become the male and female toilets for when the pub reopens. We'll start off down here. Again, final clearing out today. All the ceilings are down, and we've had the structural engineer visit, and we're just waiting on the conservation report to come through to see what we can do here. We have a wall out, which the clients asked us to do, and reinstate it with a full oak beam, basically widening and opening out this seating area for the pub. Very much the same. That's going to be positioned into a disabled toilet. The client has now decided to not go for the room, disabled access room downstairs in the pub. Just doesn't really work with the logistics of it. Up here now, which will be the 2 rooms on the first floor, completely different feel. All the walls have come down just so we can start from scratch and reposition a new stud work. At the far end here, from downstairs, we'll create a lobby, and this will be an internal staircase up to this room. So the main access to this room will be from that external door that we've seen. A bit more clearing out to do, but again, we've kept what walls we can't take down because they're solid, but this will give us a good basis to restructure upstairs for the rooms above the pub. We've left the current ceilings in place up here for now, because of the historic building. I think typically these would be a traditional plaster detail, so we're going to probably end up going for more wall light sockets and stuff without disturbing too much of the main ceiling under the thatch roof here. Every typical normal project on a newer build, we'd be fully stripping this flooring up and going, full guns blazing. However, on a project like this where it's a bit more heritage, we've got to protect certain elements. As you can see earlier with the health and safety guy, every project has a health and safety element. However, particular projects like this more so, that's what inflates the cost for the client, unfortunately. But there is areas we need to protect ourselves, protect the client, and protect the guys working on the job. Some areas are just, until you expose them, you're just really not sure of where we stand and how safe it can be. Every time we visited, this hole seems to be getting bigger and bigger. Now we've had the structural engineer do us a design for a retaining wall round, which will only be, this area will only be accessed from the back of the pub now, and this will be like a sunken garden room. There's an old stormwater catch pit there, which will be made redundant, and we'll reposition the stormwater drainage away. Being an early 1700s pub, we were expecting to find some element of history. And this piece here on the old oak beam above the open fire, we found some old coins, which, with the research we've done, was from the Americans that were based locally. They would come and drink in the pub. Before they went on their mission, they would stamp their coin into the beam, and then upon return, they would remove the coin. However, you can see not all coins have been removed, so yeah, we're going to do a bit more on this, and we'll find out some more details, but for now, it's definitely a bit of a memory piece. As you can see, a lot of this video is in planning in regards to on plans and drawings. We thought we'd bring you out and show you exactly what we're trying to refer to. With me today, I've got Matthew Corrin from Rogers Lease, and we're going to go through some details on what we're doing with this particular vaulted roof space area now that the clients asked us to do. So, as you can see, We've put supporting timbers in against the original trusses, and Matt is going to give us more detail of what we need to do to create a vaulted ceiling area and take away the pressure from the roof splaying out.
So the existing roof is a traditional cut roof with ridgeboard, rafters and ceiling joists. So I understand the plan is to try and open up this area here and create a vaulted ceiling, so we need to lose the ceiling ties. If you do that and don't put any other structure in, the roof will have a tendency to spread like a house of cards type thing. So what we need to do is go away, have a look, do some calculations and see how we can form some localised trusses using ties so that it can be mostly opened up but still maintain its integrity and prevent spreading.
Matt, obviously this gable we took down, or basically was falling down anyway when we took this, pulled this thatch area back.
Yeah.
What we were trying to achieve is pulling this thatch back sort of 300 or 400 and stopping the moisture coming straight against this brickwork, because there was damp on the internal course of this originally. But when we stripped this back, the gable was already leaning. So we've taken that down. Yeah. But obviously whilst we've stripped it now, we found areas of beams and timbers
that look a bit rotten.
Sort of rotting away. It's a case now of how to tie this gable back in. When you look further down this end, you've got, basically it's built on a wooden beam, which is just sitting below here.
Okay.
So there was probably about 18 course of brick on that beam.
Okay.
Obviously it's listed in conservation.
Yeah.
So what we need to do now, we appreciate we've probably got to strip this back to that beam, whether we have to put a steel on top of that or put a steel in to then rebuild the gable back up rather than reuse that beam.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is completely rotten, this timber.
Yeah. And that's basically what was supporting. That old ridge is supported off that, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So after running through some potential issues up on the roof, myself and Matt went downstairs into the pub to start measuring and speccing the new joists. So for anyone working in the trade, you'll fully understand that structural engineers don't like to be talked to whilst they're doing their calculations. So let's leave Matt to it. So we're now 3 months into the project and we are fully stripped out internally. However, every time I come here, I seem to find something else to speak to either the designers about or the structural guys. Let me show you a few quirky bits that we found to date. So now imagine building control would come out and have a look at this bearing, which was used to house the chimney lintel, literally 10 mil on the edge of the brick, which, as we all know now, 150 mil bearing on areas like this. So if you look here, you've got, what, 30 mil of bearing on that steel there. That would have to be either welded or bolted. And then the whole beam, it's ludicrous that it's holding up that whole wall above us. Just reading the paper from November the 10th, 1968, and someone thought it would be a good idea to use it for the concrete to adhere to. So, not clever. So it is an eye-opener looking at a job like this, and now being 3 months in, we see a lot more of how labour-intensive this job is, and it sort of, you know, resonates why a lot of local pubs are sat and empty, because there isn't the time or the effort or the finances from certain, you know, purchasers that would be able to invest into this, because everything you unfold is another problem, which is unfortunately more costs, more time, more designing, more thinking of a way around it. And obviously now we're trying to meet new building regulations. Sometimes maybe it makes you realise why people don't bother. And these old pubs sit as old derelict buildings for a long period of time. Not everyone's got the appetite for something like this, that's for sure. But as difficult as it may seem, we have got the appetite for it. So if you've got something on this scale or as tricky as this, then we'll be pleased to get involved.